All right. Welcome to the XCFL primetime broadcast. I am here, Coach Boone, with Mumford in the studio with me today to help me commentate this game. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm great. How about yourself, Boone?
I'm doing great. We got us a game here today. It looks like a pretty even matchup between the 5-5 Saints and the 3-7 Los Angeles Rams. How do you think we're gonna fare today? What do you think we're gonna see?
I really think out of the Rams, what I've seen the last couple of weeks out of them, you would think that with Todd Gurley going down for 5 weeks, that they would actually go to the pass more, but they haven't. They've actually relied on D'Angelo Williams. Yes, he's old, but he's been able to get it done. He's averaging over 80 yards a game. And on the other side, the Saints, they're 27th in the run, but they're actually 10th in the pass game. So ageless wonder, Drew Brees, I expect a lot of air out of tackle on their side. So.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the Saints have a big air attack. They always have. They probably always will as long as Drew Brees is under center. But by Drew Brees standards, 16 touchdowns this season isn't quite a good year. You know, he seems kind of lackluster. We only have about 5 games left in the year, maybe 6 for most people. And he doesn't seem to really have his usual stuff. And you kind of question whether or not Drew Brees has started to fall off a cliff, or, you know, the proverbial cliff, as they say, as far as his performance and production is concerned. He is getting up there in age, and he's surrounded by some decent receivers, some decent talent. You have Michael Thomas and Willie Snead. You also have Ted Ginn to kind of stretch out the defense and keep them honest as far as like not being able to stack the box against you or like just rely on man coverage. But he still has struggled to find the end zone at times. The Saints, though scoring 26 points, they're just not putting together wins. And it comes down to that defense. And the defensive side of the football has 29 points a game getting scored on them. It's hard to ask your offense to score more than that, you know? That's a lot.
It certainly is. And one thing that I do want to point out is that they have 3 running backs right now with over 40 carries. What they've been able to do, Coach Baptiste has been able to really more rely on that run game now that he's got a decent offensive line and take the pressure off of Drew Brees. One matchup I want to really point out is Michael Thomas today. He is out of the Ohio State University. He has really came into his own this year. Really look for him to have a big game against these not so great cornerbacks, the Rams. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they do come out, especially with that great defensive line with the Rams. What do you think about how are the Rams going to stop this passing offense of the Saints?
Oh, well, it's all got to start up front. You have the big boy, Aaron Donald, just manhandling offensive lines. I personally had an experience where this man destroyed my offensive line, and he got through it well. He has 10 sacks on the year, and he's just a nightmare. He really is a nightmare up front, and he really starts it off and sets the tone, and it allows players like LaMarcus Joyner, Alec Ogletree to make plays on the ball because of rush throws and probably poorly thrown balls because they're rushing. And they come up with interceptions. Both of them have 4 picks apiece. You have a couple more players on the defense with a couple picks. But you really take note of the way he sets the tone up front. Aaron Donald is the key here, going up against an offensive line that is pretty solid. Don't get me wrong. But you have a young left guard in I believe you pronounce his name Pete. And he just at 23 years old, I don't know if he's ready to stop a man like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is a grown man, and he's very strong and very powerful, pair with good speed. So that's the matchup to watch.
And that's a good point you bring up, especially with the young guard like that. You really can't put anyone on Aaron Donald and expect them to completely stop him. He is just a disruptive nightmare for any type of offensive coach. And one thing that I did talk to Coach Baptiste about is he's going to try to utilize a running back, try to get more running back to stay back and block for Brees and try to double team Donald. I don't think it's going to stop him, but I do think that it may slow him down enough to give Brees just enough time to be able to hit those receivers.
Yeah. What you have to notice about this team is the Rams offense is fairly lackluster. It just doesn't have the big playability, to be honest. And when in a shootout where the Saints are throwing up points and they're scoring and going off, and their defense is supposed to be as porous as it is, you wonder, do the Rams have enough with Goff to really move the ball? Goff has 23 picks on the year. Do you trust him to throw it? Is it fear? Is it his lack of ability? Or is the coaching ability to not be able to call or run a big play offense? And will it be enough if you're down by a lot to get you back in the game? These are questions you have to ask yourself, and you wonder if the Rams find themselves in a position where they have to score a lot of points, is old man D'Angelo Williams going to be able to do it? I mean, you have Father Time in the backfield. Is he really going to be able to carry you to the promised land? I'm not quite sure.
He's done well thus far, but yeah, I totally agree with you on that. When your leading receiver is a rookie tight end and he's got less than 500 yards, you're lacking the weapons. Either you're lacking the weapons or you're lacking the confidence to throw the ball downfield. And you bring up a good point. They've been able to really establish these drives, but I did talk to Coach Holland, and one thing he did want to say is, hey, we have to limit these turnovers. If we don't limit these turnovers, these drives are for nothing, and this is where we have to get better at. Yeah, they're sitting at 3-7, but they've been pretty good about moving the ball. It's just those turnovers, and Goff has to limit those if they want a chance today.
I can understand that completely. If I had to pick an X factor, though, just picking an X factor just on who I think is going to really change the game and make the play. If the Rams want to win, I think that Tavon Austin comes up big. Little man Tavon Austin. I like the little guy. Little man Tavon Austin comes up big.
And he does. He has the speed to actually break the defense. If they're going to play back on the receivers, it'd be a great time to throw some wide receiver screens in there. You know, he's the type of guy that can break one loose on that. So I love that. For me, it's going to be on the other side of the ball. It's going to be Michael Thomas. Again, I can't say enough about this guy, not just because he went to the Ohio State University, but because he's a big physical receiver, and he's what's been lacking in this Drew Brees offense. I really feel that if he can get going early, it's going to be a long day for these Ram cornerbacks. So, yeah, both are great matchups.
Yeah, we definitely have a good matchup here as far as both sides of the ball being pretty evenly matched. I think that Goff is probably the X factor as far as like not turning the ball over. I don't know if he has the ability to make the play that you need. That's why I say Tavon Austin is the X factor. But just overall, this week in the league, we've had some really exciting games. Did you get a chance to see the Steelers and the Packers game? That was a shootout.
I did not get a chance to catch it, but yeah, from what everybody was talking about, it was just the game of the week. I mean, it came down to the end. It was just one of those games that makes the XCFL what it is, and that's what we all strive for, is those type of games.
Yeah, not a lot of ball security in that game, as you saw 3 picks from Roethlisberger, 2 from Rodgers, but it was absolutely a great game, nonstop scoring back and forth. That's the thing that gets the fans excited, you know. But as far as the most exciting game, was a little 21-point comeback I heard about this week. I don't know if you heard about it.
I did watch it, and I have to tell you, you know, straight up that was a fantastic comeback. And again, that was one of the reasons why we do this, because of games like that. I was watching the game. I was actually calling the game, and for me, the big play was when you knocked the ball loose and got that turnover. I feel like the momentum completely switched in your favor, and it turned into a completely different game. Let me ask you, what was it that kind of woke you up and got you started on that?
It was my guys, really. It was them, you know. You look at the guys that you have on your team, and when they look back at you with that fire and that intensity, those kind of things just that inspires you as a coach, because they're looking at you like, give us a play, it's time to go, and you can't ignore that.
Right. Actually going to be going to the field here. Again, we look at the turnover differentials, minus 13 for the Rams, minus 8 for the Saints. That is why both of these teams are currently struggling.
Yeah, that, and again, like I said, the Rams just lack the big play ability to, really wow you. And they tend to just they just let you down on offense sometimes. So we're gonna look for the big play. I want to see big plays out of them. I want to see them try and go out and shock the crowd. But it looks like the Rams are gonna get a return here. They're gonna take the ball to start the half, or to start the game. So that means that the Saints are gonna receive, come after halftime, which is a big advantage for a lot of teams.
Yes, it is. And the one player I do want to talk about is Sammy Watkins. They did make a trade for him in the offseason. I've been very disappointed with him thus far. He's got the attributes to actually really light the field on fire, but he hasn't really done anything as of yet. So let's see if he can pick up something in this game.
I would have to agree, but I would probably call that a product of the system. I don't think that shines any light on his talent, because I feel like if you took Sammy Watkins and you put him in another system like the one over there in the Raiders, I think he'd probably pull 1,000, 1,200 yards. And it looks like the Rams are going to come out in the I formation. We're going to get a handoff to Gurley off the right-hand side. He's going to run up the middle and get a 2-yard gain. Not bad for him, 2-yard run on the first down.
And that's one thing. Gurley is actually playing this game. He was a late-minute addition to this. So it's going to be very key to see if he can get that run game going. So first down, and they do come out in the play action, and he does score a comeback route for the first down.
And that was something that, you wondered about Gurley. You wanted to see what he would come out with and if he would come out. And he clearly made it an effort to come out on this field today.
Right, and I think the injury with him actually did hurt the team a lot. That is their offense right now. If they can get the run game going with him, it's going to be a long day. And I think that what Holland wants to do is he wants to utilize Gurley and get in those short third down situations so he doesn't have to throw downfield. He wants to establish the confidence of Jared Goff. Right now, he's got none. He's got to be able to get this young quarterback in the game with his mind.
Certainly. And, we have an offense that is going to really look to get this young quarterback started early. So look for quick passes, look for quick plays.
We got second down here. Gets it to Gurley, and he does not get anything. And that's what we talked about. The Saints really, they didn't know which running back they were going to go with, but they knew that there was going to be a run game. And they came out thus far, and they look like that's what they wanted to do, is stop this run game. They're going to give those short passes, but as of right now, they don't want to give anything. They don't want to give any confidence to this run game, and they've done a good job of slowing this down.
Yeah, as Goff is going to come out, empty backfield, 5 wide receivers, and he's really going to try and make a big play here. He's going to drop back. He's got a little bit of time, and he misses him. That's a terrible throw. He
wasn't patient. If he watched, he didn't let any of those routes develop. If he would have waited a couple seconds, he would have had his slot receiver coming over the middle. He just rushed it, and that's kind of been a theme for him. He's been very scared to throw the ball and wait and give patience, and I feel like he would see a lot more of these receivers opening up if he did give that.
Yeah, we got a big punt here. It's going to be actually a very good punt. But Goff is he's not what he's supposed to be. I believe he was the number 1 overall pick, and you just have to wonder what's going on over there.
And they've given up a lot to get him, and that's where he has to be able to prove himself. Johnny Hecker with a fantastic punt. This guy has been the number 1 punter all season. It doesn't say a lot for your team that you have to have the number 1 punter, but yeah, he's been able to pin them deep every drive. So, yeah, great punt. They start on their 5. Let's see what Drew Brees can do with this drive.
Saints out in the I formation, heavy to the weak side. Got Drew Brees making some reads at the line. This is pretty standard stuff for Drew Brees. He's going to hand it off and get a decent hole. Pulling forward is Kamara for 4 yards.
Yeah, and it looked like, the Rams were coming out in man coverage on that one. Even though they did know that Kamara, he was able to kind of fall forward. That's where the power kind of comes in with Kamara. That's why they like him. He's going to be a change of pace back for them and be able to give those veterans, Ingram and Peterson, some relaxation and sitting on the bench here. So let's see what they do here.
Single back. Motioning the tight end out to the right-hand slot. Brees drops back, hands it off to Kamara, and he just gets nowhere. And there's that man, Aaron Donald. But you have to wonder, with a pass rusher like Aaron Donald on the defensive line, will we see much of Adrian Peterson, who really lacks in the pass blocking ability?
Well, one thing they've got to do, they've got to get their speed backs and get these outside runs. They've got to get it out of the middle because Aaron Donald just sucks up the middle and he stops those runs almost every time. They've really got to get these tosses and sweeps going. That's where I want to really see them open up this run.
Yeah, flashback to the days of a little bit of Sproles action when they had the little guy running back there. That would be perfect for him. Brees is going to drop back. He's got all kinds of time, and he hit right down the middle, and there's Aaron Donald again, continuing to be an X factor all year.
And we talk about him, and he's lucky. He's actually lucky that they didn't get a safety on that play. And look at that. They're punting from the 1. They're going to give the Rams a great field position here. And what I'm really looking at is this going to be a game of field position? Neither offense on their first drive really impressed me at all. Is this going to be a game of positioning? Field goals, that's it.
Yeah, so far the Rams will be winning because they're going to get the ball somewhere around the 40-yard line, I'm assuming. As the punt's off, it's deep. Tavon Austin with the ball. He's going to get it out to at least the 40-yard line. He's got to be. Makes a move, shakes, breaks, gets it. Oh, he's down to the 46-yard line. The little guy is fast.
And that's where that speed comes in, Boone. That's the speed that we're talking about. That's why you had him as your X-factor player. It's not only what he can do on offense, it's what he can do on special teams. This guy can get you an extra 15 to 20 yards to make you start out in better field position.
Yeah, he's definitely the speed, the quickness, the agility. As we have an offset eye, Goff is going to drop back, take a read. He dumps off to Gurley, who gets taken down at the 43-yard line. 3-yard
game.
The
play call, though. I like the play call because you're keeping it short. Like I said, build that confidence up with Goff. The big knock on him is you don't have to go deep with him. Build that confidence up, and then you can fake it. Then you can go deep. But what he wants to do is get some completions under his belt, and that way that's going to give him enough confidence to be able to throw the ball down deep to Woods or Watkins.
I agree. Goff definitely has to get going. He has to get rolling. As we get a handoff up the middle, he just gets nowhere. Goff is one of those quarterbacks where he has the potential. Good NFL arm. You just got to get him the plays to get him started and rolling.
And as you can see, as of right now, what's very telling about the Saints defense is they're daring Goff to beat them with his arm. They have blitzed 4 times in these 2 drives, and they're telling Goff, beat us deep because you're not going to beat us short. And they are really being aggressive towards this Rams line, and they want to see if he can do it. So it'll be very telling to see if he can.
Well, Goff is going to come out in definitely a passing formation here. It's almost obvious that 3rd and 10. He's going to drop back, take his reads, and he has an underneath route again. Wide open field. He's 20, makes a jumping cut, and he gets down to the 16-yard line. Good play call, good read, good throw.
And that's one of the unsung heroes here. He loves Lance Dunbar. If you notice that he always trusts him in that 3rd down situation. Lance Dunbar has a speed, but he also has a catching ability to get past the linebacker, who's usually on him at the time on 3rd down. So a great play by Goff.
And this is a pattern you're gonna see often in this game. After any decent throw that he makes, he immediately goes to a run, a small play, a lot of dump offs. You're just not gonna see that go get him mentality, that killer mentality for this team, and that's the thing I fear is going to hold them back.
Well, and what they really do try to rely on is they try to rely on that running game to keep the defense off the field, to move the chains. But what I would love to see is maybe a play action. Come out in a big set and run a play action with these big boys and see if you can get one of your wide receivers open.
I can understand that. And I can definitely see how that would work. I definitely would like to see something over the middle of the field, maybe an out route, maybe a post or a flag. I love my post routes. The whole league knows I love my post routes. So you're definitely going to look for Goff to step up and really make that elite jump here. As he gets a handoff up the middle, wide open space, as he gets down to the first down line, 5-yard line.
Here, I have to say, Boone, that he kept it. We had talked about this at the beginning. He kept it in 3rd and short situation. Perfect time to come out in the shotgun draw where the Saints are going to expect a pass, even a short pass. He gets the 1st down. Now it's 1st and goal at the 5. Let's see if they can connect and get this touchdown.
Drops back, rolling out. Goff has no options. He gets rocked as he runs into Anthony. Big time play in the backfield.
But you know what? I do like that Goff did take the sack. He should have probably thrown it away, but he only lost 3 yards on this. It's better than throwing in the coverage. Nobody was wide open on that pass. You don't throw in the coverage, especially down there. And that's where he's actually made some of his mistakes, Boone, is actually in the red zone. He's throwing into the coverage and forcing throws. I do like the fact that he didn't do that. They're still in contention to get a touchdown here.
As we get a handoff out of the pistol formation, he gets no yards. I can't say that I like the fact that he didn't throw the ball away. If you take a sack, I just don't understand it. If you're right there, you're out of the pocket, throwing away seems like the easy pass. And I honestly think that's one of those rookie mistakes that you see out of rookie quarterbacks. And he's young, I get it, but those are plays that you look for your player to throw the ball away or make a.
I definitely agree. He should have thrown it away, but I would rather him take a sack than throw into coverage. But yeah, you're right. This is where he's got to be able to be mature. Yes, we're running a new offense this year with Justin Holland, new coach. But yeah, he's got to be able to coach this young quarterback and say, look, if the pass isn't there, get out of the pocket and throw it away. I want to see more of Goff making these smart decisions. It doesn't mean he's got to throw a 50-yard touchdown, but let's make some smart decisions. Keep your team in the ball game. There's too many times where you're actually putting the defense in bad situations. Don't do that. Let's limit these turnovers. And this is what he's doing thus far.
I will give Coach Justin this one fact. He's done what the NFL Rams have not been able to do all year, and that's sell out a game. See those stands packing that? Those fans are in there. They are there for the game in the Rams jerseys.
And look, he took your advice, threw it away.
There it is. What a play. What a play.
But you know what? They end up with 3 now. This is where we want to see them. Their defense is good enough, especially thus far, to keep them in the game. You don't want to be able to, again, throw an interception, maybe a pick six or a bad situation. You know what? He rolled out of the pocket. He threw it away. He must be listening to this, your advice here.
Yeah, he definitely made a smart play on that pass when he threw it out of bounds. Save them some yards. Just make it easier on your kicker. 3 points seems like it's going to be enough, and that's going to be how you're going to have to inch it up because this game has been a defensive battle or at least a poor offensive showing so far. But, see what happens. We got a lot of quarters left, 3 quarters.
Exactly. Just keep in mind, both of these teams are still filling each other out. The Saints are still in playoff contention, even though they're 5-5 and they sit last. They don't have the luxury of being in the easy division. So they've really got to be careful because this is a win or die situation for them. If they lose, they're pretty much out of the playoffs.
Yeah, the Saints, they're in a pretty bad division. He gets what looked to be a block if he could have broken the tackle, and he had a lot of space in front of him. But you look for those elite running backs to really make a player miss, and that's one of those moments where you need him to step up and be elite. I know Kamara's young, but that's what you look for here.
And this is what I love about the Rams' young defense. We had talked about, they have to run outside, and that's what they just did. But these corners are really good about getting off the block early and tackling the running back before they can make big plays. So this is why they've been successful in stopping the run, because they can stop it inside and outside.
Aaron Donald is lined up on the far outside. He gets off his block, but the ball is off early, and that's what you have to do. That right there is what you have to do. Both of these offenses need to do that. Quick plays, quick passes. That's it right there.
And when you run a cover 3 like the Rams just did, you're really going to open up the routes for the running backs. And they do love Kamara, especially as a receiving running back. He's 3rd on the team in receiving. This is what, you're absolutely right. This is what they have to do. They have to be able to open this game up. Yeah, it's only 5 or 6 yards here and there, but you're going to drive down the field, and you're going to make the Rams force a mistake.
Breeze is going to drop back. He hits an open receiver, and he drops the football. That's embarrassing. That's absolutely embarrassing by Ted Ginn. You're a veteran in this league. How do you drop open passes like that?
Well, Ted Ginn is really not known for his route running and good, catching ability. He's really that deep ball guy. And to me, I don't understand why you would have him running that type of route. Especially with the defenders over the middle. He's going to drop that every time.
And Drew Brees is going to come out here. He's got 3 receivers on the field. A bunch formation on the right-hand side. Single back. Kamara in the backfield. Motions the receiver out to the far right-hand side. He hikes the ball, drops back. He's got a draw off to the left-hand side, past the 50. He's clear of a first down to the 41-yard line. Kamara now has 4 rushes for 31 yards and a good start to his day.
And again, you run outside enough, you're going to be able to open that up. And that's what they did there. The blocking was tremendous on that. And if you look at Michael Thomas, he held his block long enough for Kamara to hit the outside and go upfield.
Enough praise isn't given to wide receivers who can block. Come out in a single back formation. Drew Brees has been a little bit of a rhythm right now. He's going to drop back. He's got a little bit of time. Pump fake off to the right-hand side. And that's a hauled in at the 11-yard line.
And that's actually Ted Ginn. We talked about Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn's got to get those big routes where he can get lined up on the quarterback, a corner, a fast corner, and be able to beat him with his burst of speed. I like that route running with Ted Ginn. You can't go over the middle with him. You got to go long with Ted Ginn.
You're right, and that was Ted Ginn on the catch, and a big catch that was, as Breeze is going to come out in the shotgun here on the 11-yard line, going into the end zone. Hand off to Kamara as he cuts inside. Maybe gets 2 yards. That's a good play by a running back, though.
It was a good play, but, the Rams were not fooled on that. They knew it was coming. They're looking for the run down here. A lot of teams are really trying to run when it gets into the red zone so they don't force that interception. The Rams knew that was coming, and they snipped it out. Good stop by the Rams.
Yeah, I think Kamara noticed that as he's showing some veteran wit here, just a little bit of veteran wit, maybe past his time. He realized there wasn't a lot there, and he just took what he could get, cut it upfield, and take what you can get. He motions, looks like Ginn out to the left-hand side, I formation. We got a handoff to the left-hand side. He's up to about the 6-yard line. Set 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5 on the 6-yard line.
Again, puts him in that short field position, that short, 3rd and short situation, and that's what we look for. That's what these teams want. Now it's kind of like, okay, we can run, we can pass. The Rams have to think, okay, they could go either way on this. This is what teams want to do, especially here in the red zone.
Yeah, in a shotgun formation, Breeze takes a drop back. He has somebody in his face. He throws it. It gets batted around, tipped around, and it's going to fall in the end zone. What a chance for the Rams to make a game-changing play right there.
And that was another situation where Donald put the pressure, put his hands in Breeze's face. Again, Breeze is only 5'9", 5'10". He's not really that tall, so he just has to throw it over the middle and hope that his receiver was open. And he's lucky that he didn't throw an interception on that pass.
To be fair now, he has cleats on, so he's like 5'11". All right, let's give him that.
Yeah, maybe 5'11", but still, he's a runt out there amongst men. So
yeah, I'd have to agree with that. He definitely.
What do you think about the game thus far? This has been a pretty entertaining game. Yeah, the points are being scored on this, but this is kind of a chess match. What do you think? I know of all people, you like those big scoring games. You don't like the boring stuff. But, I mean, come on. You got to give both of these teams credit for this game thus far.
So you'd call 3-3 an entertaining game? I don't know if I can say that. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of short plays, I'm not seeing anything to get me up out my seat yet. I need to see it. I need the big play. The biggest play we had was Ted Ginn, and that was like a 20-yard play. I don't know.
And both of these teams are still trying to play it safe. If I were the Rams, you're 3-7. You've got next year to play for. Start launching the ball downfield. Yeah, you've kind of built his confidence up, but yeah, you've got nothing to play for here. You just want to take the Saints out of playoff contention. And here they go.
Big play, D. Oh, I like the attempt. I like the attempt there. They took a chance. That's all I want to see out of this. That's what I'm liking. Derek Goff took a chance.
The big thing that does, it makes the Saints play honest. You're not going to be able to line up 7 to 9 guys right up front and blitz me. I'm going to throw it long. And if you don't believe it, I'm going to do it on first down. So you've got to play me honest. I love that play. No, they didn't connect, but now they have to say, okay, we have to play them honest.
Exactly. And dang, man, right there. Goff just cannot hit his target. Wide open slant. You have single high formation. You could read that from the start.
One thing I didn't like about that, he didn't set his feet. If you notice, he actually kind of threw that a little bit early. Come on, go back 5 steps and then toss it. You had Austin beating him on that slant, and that was a situation where they blitzed. He probably could have got at least 30, 50 yards.
They had wide open receivers on the outside, single high formation. You break a tackle, you might be off to the races.
Absolutely.
As Goff is going to come out here in a shotgun. We got a receiver off to the slot on the left-hand side. He's going to drop back, has his time. He had the running back open, but with a defender in his face, Klein was all in the backfield.
You got to love what the Saints are doing. They're trusting their corners to make these plays. They haven't seen Goff beat anyone all season long. What's going to make them start now? I like it. They're being aggressive with their defense, but it's paying dividends for them. The Rams cannot answer anything to their blitzes.
Right. Right. I see it too. I'm glad you see it. You have a lot of blitzing going on, and that's gonna in turn create a lot of poor throws by off. And you notice it's not so much giving him open windows as much as it is just throwing him off his rhythm. Like you said, you notice he threw off balance. That's because he has a lot of pressure in his face on the blitzing. He's not really getting a chance. He feels rushed. So you know you're mentally in his head. As Breeze is going to come out in the I formation, strong I, receivers off the left-hand side. He hands off, has a little bit of blocking, but
Donald in on that tackle. This guy is everywhere. I love watching him play. It seems like he just knows where the ball is going. Doesn't it seem like that? He's always in on the tackle or he's close to it. This guy, there's a reason why he is a franchise player.
Yeah, I told you before the game he's an X factor. He's probably one of the best players in our league. Just stat for stat, he's a monster. You know, he's just a monster. We got Breeze out in a shotgun formation. He's going to motion what looks to be Thomas off to the left-hand side.
And one thing we talked about is Johnny Hekker as we see this sack. But one thing I want to talk about is Johnny Hekker, another great punt. You have one of the best punt returners in the league in Ted Ginn. And what do? You pin him out on the 9 again. This guy is fantastic. He is putting the Saints in bad field position every single drive.
Yeah, he's definitely doing his job. He's earning his money. Right here, are you thinking throw short? Or are you thinking get the
throw
first
screen? Throw a screen. Get a little bit of field coverage and get out of this. They don't.
Oh, and they go for the risk, and they definitely pay for it as he gets the ball, interception down to the 9-yard line. He's in prime position to basically take control of this game.
And then you cannot do this. We had just talked about this. This game is going to be field position. The importance of that is just phenomenal. And what they should have done is at least get a little bit out of the end zone so they could force a punt. Don't go for the home run every drive. And look, touchdown.
Goff touchdown. Oh, he drops the football. Oh, my goodness.
Can't do that.
When you get an on-target throw and your receiver drops it, it just kills your momentum. And I know that has to hurt the mentality of a young quarterback in Jared Goff. You have a guy who he finally delivers an on-strike throw, a touchdown to maybe break this game open, and you can't seem to get him to hold it.
And what did we talk about? Play action. This is what I want to see out of him. I love the throw of this young kid. He threw a great pass, but then he throws an interception and proves me wrong.
An interception right back at him. Man, Klein making another big play. That I believe that accounts for a sack and an interception for him today. Those are big plays for him.
One thing I want to point out, the Saints have been very predictable on their defensive play call. That's why they ran that play action so well, is because he knew it was going to be a blitz and it was going to open up some receivers. He has to make that play. If he makes that play, they're up 10-3, and we're talking a whole different situation than what we are right now. I'm very disappointed in that rookie tight end.
Breeze is going to drop back. He reads the field, gets an open receiver down to the 17-yard line, gain of 7 on the first down, 2nd and 3 on their own 17. Your back is against the wall, 2 minutes left. You really want to move the ball down the field while also remembering to move the clock, but not too much so you have enough time to score here. This is really a game-managing type of drive that I think Breeze is going to excel in as we hit the 2-minute warning.
It really is. You got 2 minutes left. Don't do anything stupid. Just drive down the field. Give what the Rams give you, okay? Don't take too much out of this. I like that pass, and guess what? It was to his running back. I really think because of the pressure that he's getting, you're going to see a lot more out of this running back this game.
Yeah, Breeze is out here. He has 3 receivers out there. Kamara off to the left-hand side, shotgun formation. He's making his calls at the line. Leads the play, hands off. Kamara had a hole, gets brought down at the 23-yard line. Clock at 1 minute and 50 seconds, 1st and 10.
And I like that play call. Get the first down, move the chains. Let's see what the Rams come out in. See if you can get another 10, 15 yards out of this. If you can, let's start trying to get that field goal. But don't do too much. I like what you said. Give what they take you, or take what they give you.
Give what they take you. Breeze drops back and he finds an receiver over the middle to the 31-yard line, gain of 8. My question is, I have Aaron Donald. I believe the Saints' right tackle is injured. You have a rookie left guard in there, or at least second-year left guard in there. I'm not quite sure why I'm seeing Aaron Donald lined up over the center right guard, who tend to be their strongest players on the offensive line. I'd like to see
Because it doesn't matter who he goes against. He's getting that pressure. What I would do if I'm the Rams, I'm spotlighting that running back. I'm not worried about the receivers at this point. I'm getting that pressure, and I'm making Drew Brees throw the ball quick.
Well said, and it looks like it happens as Mike Thomas makes a big catch down to the 32-yard line, 33-yard line. 1 minute left. Brees is moving the ball almost effortlessly at this point. He goes to Mike Thomas, his big play receiver.
Yeah, as we talk about Thomas, he's that big guy. He's that big physical receiver that Drew Brees has always been missing since he had, I can't remember his name.
Big hole for Kamara, a truck down to the 20-yard line. Wow, we're getting some good offense here.
Yeah, we are. And Kamara's been averaging. He's had such a great day in the passing game and in the rushing game. If you got him on your fantasy football league, I hope you started him tonight because he is having a fantastic game.
Absolutely. As Brees drops back shotgun formation, he looks to keep it rolling. Another underneath route. Mike Thomas to a first down, it looks like. 9-yard line. Yeah, and they're going to say it's a first down. First and goal in the 9-yard line with 26 seconds left. The Saints have 2 timeouts and are in prime position to now take possession of this game, actually.
Yeah, and you really have to watch Mike Thomas. We had talked about this. If I'm the defensive coordinator for the Rams, I am watching him like a hawk. He has been killing you on every drive.
And Donald is in there for the sack.
His third sack.
I don't know how many ways. I don't know how many more ways you look for a player to affect the game other than Aaron Donald absolutely dominating the front line and controlling the tempo of this game.
If they didn't have Aaron Donald, I see the Saints having 17 points at this point.
Well, currently we sit at 3-3. 22 seconds left on the 18-yard line, second and goal, going in. The Saints are just trying to take the commanding lead. And I believe we said at the beginning of the game, Saints get the ball at the after half. Am I correct?
That is correct, yeah. The Rams did receive first, so the Saints are going to get the ball back regardless.
So the Saints know that no matter what happens here, they just need to make sure they take care of the football, get closer, possibly get a touchdown, but don't mortgage a 2-possession lead trying to push a touchdown.
And look at that.
Big catch.
He throws a high pass and relies on his receiver to make that catch. I love Mike Thomas. He is going to be a fantastic star in this league.
Mike Thomas is just elite. We get down to 3 seconds. You wonder why the Saints didn't take a timeout sooner. They let the clock tick down to 3 seconds. You got to take the field goal here now.
Yeah, you do, because it almost forces your hand. You either go for the touchdown or you go for the field goal. You don't go. It's one or the other. And this point, they're forced for the field goal. You bring up a good point. I don't know what the coach Baptiste was thinking on this one. He has to call a timeout as soon as he touches the ground. Very bad play management.
Mike Thomas, someone just call the timeout. You let the clock tick down to 3. You really tie your hands. Sure, you get the points, but my God, would that 7 have been nice?
Yeah, I mean, you could be up at 10-3 right now, but instead you give the Rams, they're right back in this game. If you were to ask Coach Holland, hey, you're going to be up or you're going to be down 6-3 at halftime, would you take that? Every day he's going to say yes because he relies on his running game to keep him in these games. So this is actually a win thus far for the Rams. Wouldn't you agree?
I gotta say so, yeah, because this is the type of game that they would want to excel in. They don't do a lot of big play, a lot of downfield, 300-yard games. So they're down by 3 is exactly what you want to be against a team that scores 26 points a game. We're gonna get Brees out in the offset I formation. He's got Ginn off to the right, Thomas off to the left. I'd probably key on Thomas as he gets a handoff to Kamara up the middle to about the 27-yard line, modest gain.
And one thing I want to point out, Aaron Donald on that play, no, he didn't make the tackle, but if you notice, he actually powered that guard and closed that hole for the Saints. I mean, he didn't make the tackle, but he did close that hole up enough to where it was only a 2-yard gain. Because if he didn't do that, I could see a 7-10-yard gain on that carry. Yeah,
Brees is out here in the offset eye. You have to note Donald every play you come out. At this point, you have to point him out. He's clearly the X factor right now. As Brees is making changes, looking at Donald. Donald breaks a tackle or breaks a block, and he's got the sack again. We've talked about this man, and that's 3.5 sacks for him, and he cannot be blocked.
And one thing that I noticed on that, the running back did try to stop him, but Donald almost did a juke move of his own, went right around him, and got Breeze. In this situation, you can't go for a play action. You know this guy is going to be in the backfield every game. Unless you have your running back there to help you out, you can't do an I-form play action. You have to stick with the passing.
Heavy receiver off the left-hand side. Breeze has what looks to be one-on-one coverage. I don't see a safety over the top. I might look to make that throw over the top right there. But Breeze makes the call at the line, drops back, and he gets an underneath route. Basically punting on the drive at this point. 8 for 11, 18 yards and a pick.
He should have went with that post route. If you note, once you said that, I look for when he hiked the ball, I look for Thomas. And Thomas, as soon as he kind of went by because that was zone coverage, he had that cushion. The safety wouldn't have been able to get over there in time. If Breeze would have just zipped the ball over, Thomas would have been wide open for the first down. That was a mistake by Drew Brees.
Yeah, Tavon Austin's going to get the return here. He's going to bounce outside. Looks to be missed a block, in my opinion. He cuts back, gets a shoestring tackle by the return team, by the kicking team, down to the 26-yard line. Definitely avoided a big play there by the kicking team. They were very happy for that tackle by 34.
You got to be happy of that. You're on the 26, and Austin really could have broke that out. That's one thing you look at Deshaun Jackson, you look at Tavon Austin, they got the speed, but sometimes they make those careless mistakes, and it does cost them.
Goff gets the hike out of shotgun formation, drops back, hits the underneath route, gain of 4. Goff is 4 for 11, 56 yards and an interception. Overall, he's taken a shot or two. I'd like to see him take more chances. Like, just let the kid loose. He has 23 picks on the year. He can't do much worse than what he's done so far. Just let him go.
If you watch the Saints defense, they were in a cover 4. They were looking for that deep pass. And maybe they were kind of scared because of that play action from earlier. So, it's only 4 yards, but again, it's 2nd and 6 now. Now you can get a little more creative with your offense.
You know what's the worst enemy of a cover 4? A nice slant route or a drag route. Drops back, play action, over the top. He goes for the catch, and he makes the play. This is what I'm telling you this team needs. Let your receivers make the plays. You have Sammy Watkins. If you're not going to use him, please pass him to my team. I would gladly use him on my team.
But not only that, but the Saints really thought they were going to come out and run, and the Rams said, you know what, we're going to make you think that, and they're going to trust in the receivers, and that's what you got to do at this point.
Goff is going to come out with a pistol formation, Gurley behind him. Those of you fantasy owners who threw Gurley in last minute when you heard he was going to actually play, you're actually a little disappointed with his day and his usage. Gurley's going to get the handoff to the left-hand side. Gain of about 6 yards or so. 2nd and 5. He has 10 yards on, I think, 2 or 3 carries. He's just been absent this game.
He has, but you got to understand that Holland wants to really kind of wean him back into this offense. If you notice, the last time he came back from an injury, he actually got hurt on the first play for 5 weeks. So Holland is trying to really play this smart and not put him in a situation where he's going to be the workhorse. I like what he's doing. You got to be able to kind of work him into this offense, and that's what he's doing.
And he gets a handoff, and he almost had a wide open hole, and the defensive lineman just makes a big play.
Yeah, number 90, Nick Fairley, this guy looked just like Aaron Donald on that play. He ate up the middle, and that's what he's got to do. Eat up the guard, be disruptive, and that's what they paid him the big bucks to do. He's not going to get a bunch of sacks, but the stats that he's going to have, he's going to be able to do those tackle for losses in the backfield, especially with the running back. So,
as Goff hits the underneath route, Cooper Kupp gets down to the 18-yard line. We're going to get a 1st and 10 for the Rams.
One thing I liked about that play is the tight end, Everett, rookie tight end, he was huge on that. He actually set up the block to get open, to get Kupp open. I do like that play. These receivers got to be more in sync, and I think that as they start to play with each other, they're all young. They're all under the age of 27. As they start to play with each other, they're going to gel a little bit more.
Goff is going to come out in a pistol formation. He's got Kupp in the slot off to the right-hand side. Looks like a hard count. And he throws in a double coverage, and he's lucky if that's not picked, and it drops to the ground. He missed a wide-open Cooper Kupp in a post route over the middle.
This is what we
no one
talked
was
about.
guarding.
This is what we talked about. That red zone turnover. No, he didn't. Why do you throw it in double coverage? There is nothing good that can happen in that.
You have to wonder if maybe two questions. Did Gurley come back too soon? And is Goff truly your franchise quarterback at this point?
This is what has to make you wonder about that.
It's going to drop back, and he had an open screen, it looked to be, and he chose to throw it to what looked to be nobody, maybe behind the tight end. 3rd and 10 on the 18-yard line. Goff has got to get something here.
Raw right up the middle, and I am not going to even question it. I'm not trusting Goff at this point. He made 2 piss poor decisions. I'm not going to let him cost me the game. I'm going to run a draw up the middle. I'm going to get a little further. I'm going to tie this game.
Oh, okay. I guess that's where you and I differ, because at the 18-yard line, I know my kicker can chip shot that in regardless what happens, whether I get 4 or 5 yards. But I tell you what, Goff is going to throw this football. I would throw these exact routes. He's going to drop back, and he's going to get a lot of time. The coverage, he didn't hit it, but you know what? You still end up right where you would if you ran the ball. But the way I see it, it's a win-win.
Yeah, it is a win. But the reason why I said I would have did a draw, because I would have tried to get a little bit more into the middle of the field to kick that field goal. I do trust my kicker, but yeah, I mean, I would have ran that, because my confidence in Goff right now, especially making those 2 boneheaded plays, it's not very high. Goff has got to play better than this. He is actually auditioning for his job. The Rams are going to have a high pick this year. I mean, you have to play for your job at this point, right?
What are you looking for if you're the Rams? You're trying to win here. Of course, you're trying to win every game. That's obvious. You know, you're looking at a top pick. Where would you look for in the draft? Like, what position are you looking at? You know, you have solid D line, you have a good receiving core, you have a great running back, you have a decent O line. Are you thinking defensive back?
I'm thinking either defensive back or offensive line. This offensive line has not impressed me all that well. Yes, they have Whitworth, but he's 35 years old. Why don't you look for your left tackle of the future, or maybe a guard, because you're going to be running a lot of those runs up the middle with Gurley. I'm either looking at left tackle, guard, or I'm looking at cornerback. That's what I would do if I was a general manager of the Rams.
And Breeze is going to drop back, get an underneath pass, and he gets down to the 40-yard line as he gets the first down. And you know, it brings me to a point about this run-first offense. I know they have that garbage offense in Oakland. It's pretty terrible, pretty embarrassing, to be honest. Derek Carr looks like absolute trash, if you ask me. But here in this team, they seem to be able to manage it and they dress it up to make it look like more than what it is. And the Rams have done a better job than Oakland has at that.
I would agree with that. Oakland is they're just ass, okay? Nobody likes Derek Carr. Even his brother doesn't like him. His mother doesn't even like him. So, yeah, I totally agree with you on this. And as we speak, look at the pressure on Drew Brees. They've got to be able to protect him.
Yeah, Drew Brees has been under fire all game, making good throws here and there, but it's only on the quick throws. He's had a lot of pressure in his face, and it's really getting to people.
It's very disappointed that they're showing these play action. It's not working. Even when there's not a blitz coming, they have enough pressure to stack you. Start running your offense. Start running, crossing patterns. Get out of there. And again,
I believe that's Donald. Oh, my God. Would someone block him? Call a running back in to block for you at this point. You need everyone blocking if you can. The tight end does not go out another route. I run with 3 receivers. They run their routes. Tight end is blocking. Running back is blocking.
I had this problem a couple of weeks ago. I had a guy that was coming in with his defensive tackle, and what I did was I set my fullback into my shotgun running back position, and I set him back every single play. And look at that. More time.
And he comes up with his hands on the ball, but he gets hit as he tries to bring it in. Kobe Fleener, not really known for being a big receiving tight end, but he makes good plays.
Yeah, but keep in mind what we just talked about. Finally, I don't know what Baptiste was thinking, but finally he puts his running back set to block, and he gets time every single time.
Yeah, and the ball's going to go to Tavon as he calls for a fair catch at the 20-yard line. That's going to be decent field position. Nothing great.
Surprising that they went in a punt block formation. Why wouldn't you give him the opportunity to return this? You might be at the 40 or 50 at this point.
Yeah, you have Goff here who's going to come out and look for, something to get himself rolling. I get it, 1 or 2 small throws. But after that, I open it up. We're running 4 receivers deep. And we're gonna see what we can get, because I'm telling you right now, running the ball isn't getting you anywhere. These short passes aren't gonna get you to the end zone. You got to move the ball.
Yeah, and the Saints know that they're running at this point. They've got to be able to switch it up a little bit.
Drops back, reads the defense. He's got an open receiver down the field, and that's what I'm talking about. That's a good pass. That's what you look for. Goff is now over 100 yards. He has 127 on the day, and he's definitely just looking to get something rolling, And I believe I heard the Oakland Raiders coach talking a little trash in the chat room. And it's kind of funny that he would talk trash when his quarterback only has 16 touchdowns on the season, and we're at week 12, which is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean the coach for the coach for the Raiders, he was arrested last year for cocaine possession. Very embarrassing for that organization, but yet it's the Raiders. What do you expect?
And a comeback route, and it looks like Goff is starting to find a rhythm here. I like what I'm seeing. Robert Woods has 5 catches for 92 yards.
He is the unsung hero of this receiving corps. I don't know what's going on with Sammy Watkins at this point. I don't know why he's not in, but Robert Woods has really been able to pick up with this receiving game. I'm surprised. I'm frankly shocked that he's been able to do this. I thought it was going to be either Tavon Austin or Sammy Watkins today.
He's been steady. He's definitely been steady. And Gurley's going to get a run. He's going to get about 4 yards, 9 carries, 10 yards. I think maybe it was a little too early for him to be coming back.
Well, it's not only just being too early, but the Saints in first down, 70% of the time they're coming out in a blitz mode. Why not do an outside run for Gurley? If you know they're coming in the middle, do a sweep, do a toss, do a stretch, do something to get outside. You've got decent receivers.
I agree. However, I think Gurley is a little closer to a power runner. I know he can do a little bit of everything, but I think he's a little closer to a power runner. I'm not a fan of him on stretches. He's not really an agile guy. He's kind of like a one cut back in my mind. So me personally, I'm looking for an I formation or a single back and just jam it up the middle.
One thing that the director told us is that Sammy Watkins is dressed today, but he's only there for an emergency purpose. He's actually hurt.
And Gurley open in the middle to the 15-5 touchdown. Todd Gurley. Goff has delivered a touchdown for this offense. They've started moving, and we have looks to be a good game here on our hands in the fourth quarter.
Now, Boone, you got to say now you're a believer of why Gurley came back when he did, right?
Oh, I sure don't have to say that. He had nothing but open field. Anyone could. D'Angelo Williams could have made that play, Anyone.
I agree. I just wanted to rib you a little bit on that one.
Hell, the fat coach from the Raiders and the fat coach from the Chiefs could have made that play. They could have walked through that hole. And we get a return out to the 25-yard line. And, to say that Breeze has to score here, that's not really true. I don't agree with that. There's been a lack of offense in this game, so you really look for Breeze to just move the ball, see what you get. Don't force it, and maybe make it a game of field position. Maybe you can
absolutely be patient.
Right.
Run the ball. You've been pretty successful at it. I think he's been averaging 5.7 yards a carry. Give the ball to Kamara. Why are you not giving the ball to him?
I agree. They had a good job running it, and they had wide open receivers here, and it looks like he floats it to Ted Ginn.
You got to be impressed by these cornerbacks from the Rams. I actually gave them a little flack earlier when we were in the broadcast, but man, they've been playing pretty decent. I mean, they've been able to hold these receivers in check thus far.
Right now, the Rams are playing outstanding football, and Aaron Donald is clearly by far the best player on the field right now. As he
by far the best player in the league. Let's be honest.
Off 2 blockers, and he almost gets to Breeze. To be honest, as I'm watching these plays, and I'm watching Donald. That's what I'm looking at right now.
The reason why Breeze made that throw is because he smelled Donald. He saw him breaking off the guard.
I don't think there's really many people in this league who can Donald 2-on-1. To be honest, that's just to be fair.
No.
You know, but
Nobody on the defensive line can disrupt like Donald can. And this is
Breeze gonna
showing.
come
Look
out, single back, drops the
off
ball
the
off,
back of his feet.
and 34-yard line, gain of 9. Good play by Breeze. 4th and 1, maybe not.
Punt it. You're on your own 34. If you don't make this, the game is over. Okay, the game is over. You got to punt this. You got to trust your defense. They've been playing the Rams great thus far. There is no question in my mind. I punt the ball.
Yeah, I can see that. They're gonna punt the ball to what looks to be the 5-yard line, and this is what I'm talking about. The game, that possession was not necessarily about scoring, but about field position. Now they start the ball with their backs against the wall on their own 5-yard line. You have a young quarterback in Goff who has proven to be pretty inconsistent at times, though he hit his rhythm. This is the situation you want to be in if you're not going to score. So let's see what the Saints defense can come up with.
A great punt. Tavon Nelson was not able to really read that. He thought it was going to go in the end zone. Puts him in a great field position. If you didn't make that, they were on the 34. Now you pin them on the 5.
We got a motion receiver, toss out to the right-hand side, and he gets smacked at the 5-yard line. Brought down at the 4. Gurley is having an awful day on the ground, though he had that one catch.
They've really been looking to stop the run. The Saints' run defense isn't really that bad. It's really their pass defense. But that's not the strength of the Rams. So this really works out well for the Saints. But I got to say, I don't hate the play calling. Trust your defense. You've been playing great all day. Even if you punt it and they get, the 40 or the 50 and they get a field goal out of it, fine. But your defense is playing great. You haven't allowed a touchdown all game. Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, Goff is going to come out. He's just going to take off for a run and see what he can get. 2nd and what looks to be 5, maybe 7, or 3rd and 7. I'm sorry, 3rd and 7 on the 8-yard line. You get something back, and you make it a little bit of a manageable play for you on 3rd down.
Yeah, I don't hate the play calling, but if you look at the Saints, they really try to strip the ball from Goff. That could have been a nightmare. Don't put your quarterback in that type of situation. If I'm here, I'm running the quarterback draw right up, or halfback draw right up the middle.
Yeah, you got Goff coming out right now in a shotgun.
And that's what they're expecting, if you notice that.
Notice the one-on-one coverage on the outside. No safety over top. And he gets hit in the backfield, shrugs it off, and tries to make a throw. That's just a rush throw. He had a lot of pressure in his face, and that's hard to overcome.
But you know what? I love the poise of that young quarterback. He shrugged off the tackle, and he threw it. He threw an incomplete pass, but sometimes those are the best. He didn't make a mistake on that one. That could have been safety. That could have put us in a whole different type of ball game at this point.
Yeah, we're going to get a big punt here. You look to really do something, but really the Saints end up right where they left off. So looks to be a good return. Ginn really shakes a defender, and he gets down to the 44-yard line. Now you're into Rams territory. You have the ball, one of the best quarterbacks to ever spin a football. You're feeling pretty confident if you're the Saints.
Yeah, you got one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game, and yes, I'm saying that. But you got to be patient. You got to be able to move the ball, and that's what they're going to try to do. And look, 1st down.
Kamara gets the ball, and he gets a good run, and he's been pretty solid all game with 11 catches for 60 yards, or 11 rushes for 60 yards.
Yeah, he's absolutely running the ball the way that they wanted, but they haven't given the ball enough. 2nd and 6, you're putting yourself in a 3rd and short situation. Don't put yourself – the way that Donald's playing, don't come out in the shotgun. Don't be cute about it. Be conservative. You need to score on this possession.
Breeze is out with a single back. Kamara in the backfield. Getting off in the slot to the left-hand side. He's going to drop back, take his time, and he gets whopped in the backfield again. I believe that's sack number 6 for this defense.
This is what we talked about. Now, instead of looking at a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, you're looking at a 3rd and 12. You're looking at a very large situation here. Now you're putting Breeze in a situation where he hasn't been able to be successful all day. That's why you run the ball on 2nd down.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. Miss Mama Doss just brought me another wine cooler. Sorry, Oakland coach. Sorry, Coach Doss. But yeah, Mama Doss just brought me another wine cooler. I'm having a good time here in the booth. Yeah, drop back and a catch over the middle down to the 30-yard line. Breeze is feeling it.
And who else? It was Michael Thomas. He made the catch. Even though he got popped, he was able to keep a hold of the ball and keep the drive alive. This guy is phenomenal. Yeah, he only has 4 catches for 77 yards, but all 4 catches have been some of the most important catches of the game thus far.
And we're going to get a shotgun formation, bunches receivers off to the right-hand side. It looks like Ginn is motioning to the left in the slot. We're going to get a handoff up the middle, and maybe the Saints are trying to burn some clock and make this the last possession.
They can't look at it like that. You got to be able to just score. Your defense playing well thus far. You're going to, you have a good chance of stopping the Rams. At this point, you need points. But I do like the way that they're playing, but Donald is just playing on a different level right now. You run it up the middle, he's taking it.
Yeah, and Kamara's off to the left. He's got blocking for days, and for whatever reason, he chooses to run into a defender as opposed to running wide open field. Down to the 15-yard line, but he had a touchdown right there in front of him.
Yeah, no clue why he ran up to the right. Like you said, if he would have kept going to the left, he had had a wide open touchdown.
I just don't get what's going through Kamara's mind. That's probably one of the dumbest plays I've seen a running back make so far.
Sucked into the cornerback and stops the drive.
And with Donald in his face, Breeze throws over the middle, and we got a drop pass. It looks like Kobe Fleener on the drop.
Now let me ask you this: it's 2:57 left. You're down 7. At this point, you almost got to go for it on 4th, right?
I'm going. There's no question. I'm going. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, you play to win the game. I don't play to tie. I'm not playing to maybe inch up. I'm playing to win this game. Breeze drops back. He's got a little bit of time. He throws into triple coverage, nearly picked off. It's going to be 3rd and 10 from the 15-yard line.
Very boneheaded play by Drew Brees. You got 3 guys over there. That's not Michael Thomas. That's Ted Ginn. He is not known for his, catching in traffic ability. You really don't want to do that. That really could have ended the game right there. You got to be smarter than that if you're Drew Brees.
And the Saints are going to come out in what looks to be a wide receiver heavy set as we have 5 wideouts, empty backfield. You have to notice that Breeze is going with no extra blockers, so it has to be a quick throw. He motions Ginn in from the left-hand side, makes some calls to the line, drops back, has Ginn off open on the left-hand side, and it looks like
why are you throwing him in this situation? Why are you throwing the quick passes to him? And this is what I don't understand. Ginn is not known for his, catching possession ability. He's known for the big play ability. Why don't you have Michael Thomas over there doing that?
And we got a field goal attempt coming up. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't hate this. You got 2:45 left, right? You got all 3 timeouts. Your defense is playing on defense all game. Why not? The Rams are going to run, right?
I mean, by all logic, it's right. It's the safe play. I don't know. I feel like if you came that far down the field, you got to go for the touchdown, man. I'm here to win the game. I'm not here to kick a field goal.
But you got to look at the inability of the Saints to be able to score a touchdown. And at this point, a field goal is not going to do it. You got to score a touchdown next possession.
Notice that they're daring him to throw, and he throw. Oh my goodness! What a play! A pick, 29-yard line, and that's really a shame. And that comes down to the rookie inexperience of Jared.
Yeah, I am benching golf. This is ridiculous. This is unacceptable. You have given the Rams given the Saints life. You've given them an opportunity to beat you because of this.
I remember I said at the beginning of the broadcast, it comes down to your offense and not being able to produce big plays when you need them. And without that big play ability and always thinking that boring small ball inching up the field offense, you don't realize you had single coverage on the outside with no safety help, and you don't run streaks. The right side receiver had a wide open break with no one around him, and he did nothing to get him the ball.
I wonder if the Saints kind of knew that they were going to try to put it in Goff's hands. I mean, you got to wonder about that. I mean, it just makes no sense why you would run a play action on that and throw it right into coverage. I mean, this is unacceptable. This is why they're 3-7 at this point.
Yeah, the Saints are almost, in fact, daring Goff to throw the ball on them, and he just won't go deep. He's not really making the right reads. Breeze is at the line with a single back end. It looks to me like he's not going to get the first down on 3rd and inches. That's going to put him at 4th and 3.
Instead of 3rd and inches, it's 4th and 3. You made a predictable play, and you put the Rams, which has one of the best lines, may I add, into a situation where they can stop you, and that's exactly what they did. Why not run the outside? Why not run slants? You got to. That's what they were expecting on 4th and inches or 3rd and inches, and that's exactly what they did. You got to be unpredictable at this point. This is why both teams are struggling.
Yeah, Brady's gonna have to come out. He's gonna have to make something happen. Running against Donald just isn't really gonna help you because he's been dominating your offensive line all game. You're gonna motion Kamara out to the left-hand side. Breeze has all options out at receiver. Making pre-snap calls, drops back, reading, floats it out there, and really put his receiver in a bad spot. He floated out there instead of beaming it to him. It gave the defenders all types of time to react and make a play on the ball, and he drops it.
Absolutely. You have to be able to zip the ball there. When you loft it up like that, you give too much time for the secondary to catch up, especially if they're playing a little bit back further. And that's exactly what happened. You can't expect your tight end, which is not Jimmy Graham by any means, to make that play. You have to zip the ball there. I have to say that Drew Brees has single-handedly lost this ball game for them.
You know what gives birth to that style of play? That weak, passive-aggressive offense where you're running the ball first or you're not really looking to move the ball downfield. You're always looking for the touch or the finesse instead of just powering down the field with a high-powered offense. And that's why you have the incompletion, because you're not trying to move the ball. You're trying to maybe get your yards. You have to full force move down the field. Stop being afraid to run offense. That's a problem with offenses like this in the league, and this is the issue that the Saints are running into.
This is why the Rams are 3-7. This is why the Saints are 5-5. Neither team is ready to accept the fact that they have to be able to move the ball. You're relying too much on your defense, and this is what has gotten both teams into trouble at this point. Make the plays when it's given to you. Don't try to force something that's not there. And you bring up a good point. This is why both teams are struggling. The Rams at this point, I don't know why they're coming out in the empty formation, but it looks like they may win, but they don't really deserve it, to be honest with you.
Ooh, and he's gonna get hit, and that's gonna be another timeout. The Saints are gonna get yet another chance at this. I mean, just how many chances do you need?
I actually like that play calling. Come out in an empty set. I thought they were maybe going to throw it short, running up the middle with Goff. It didn't pay off, but hey, look. They haven't given up a touchdown all game. Yeah. I mean, if you're a Rams coach, you got to feel pretty confident at this point, right?
Nope. I'm not feeling confident at all because the Saints have gotten towards your 15-yard line at least 3 times so far in the 4th quarter. I'm not feeling it. You get a big return to the 37-yard line. Could have been bigger. Now we're going to get a 1st and 10, no timeouts, 58 seconds left, and we are going to get a finish because there's no way for this to tie, thank God. So we're going to get an exciting finish, and we can almost exclusively expect no huddle outside throws. So Breeze is out here. We're going to get to a 3-receiver set, shotgun, throw over the middle, nearly intercepted, ball batted down to the 37-yard line, 2nd and 10, 37-yard line, 55 seconds left.
At this point, you have to go balls to the wall, right? I mean, if I'm a coach here, I'm just saying, you know what? We're going to throw my favorite passing plays. We're going to go downfield, and we're going to try to score. We're not playing this, dink and dunk crap. We're going to try to score. I'm going to keep the running back to try to hold Donald back a little bit. I'm going to try to get time, and I'm just going to do my favorite passing plays.
There it is. Outside. Get the first down. Oh, my goodness. It's amazing the football IQ that I'm not seeing in this game.
But what did they do? They had the running back in the backfield. Donald made it to the next level, but he did get stopped by the running back, gave Breeze enough time. But like you said, you got to make the first down. What are you doing at this point?
Breeze is making a read at the line. 50 seconds left, 3rd and 1. You got to get the first down. And he throws into coverage. Again, I have to wonder who in their right mind is calling these offensive plays and Breeze is not looking short. Like the objectives of this game, of these plays, is not really making sense to me.
I don't hate the play con. I'll be honest with you. You got another play to get the first down, but I don't like they didn't pick it up, but I do like they went deep to Thomas. But I just don't like that they didn't go to Thomas earlier enough. Why are you not going to him like almost every play?
And there it goes. He bounces outside, has some open field, but he seems to slip on the turf as he tries to make a cut. 1st and 10 on the 37-yard line. Breeze is entering a drive. Shotgun formation. Breeze drops back, looks around, defenders in his face. He throws into coverage, tight window. It's battered away. It's going to be 2nd and 10, 26 seconds left on the 37-yard line. This is doable. This is definitely doable.
It is, but the way that the defense is pressing, they're not respecting this offense. I mean, and they shouldn't. They haven't scored a touchdown all game. The Rams are playing just legit defense at this point.
I tell you what, I bet Drew Brees is missing Brandon Cooks right now. Press coverage on the outside. Brees is going to drop back. He's got a little bit of time. He throws and floats it out. Interception. Alec Ogletree ends the game with a pick in the middle of the field. And, that's just –
that's his 5th of the year. The reason why Ogletree has been so effective is because the pressure that Aaron Donald's been getting, quarterbacks have been trying to throw in the middle, and that's where Ogletree has been. So Ogletree has actually, in fact, been benefiting off of Aaron Donald's pressure.
I definitely see where Ogletree has been a factor this game. He's definitely been, about as strong as you could be in the middle, holding it down, making plays left and right.
Fan, you got to be excited. And the reason why I say that is, yeah, your offense didn't play that great, but your defense did. If it's me, I want a great defense. I can build an offense, but I want a great defense. If that's just me. If I'm a fan, I'm happy about this win. Yeah, you're probably not going to make the playoffs.
The future is bright for these Rams. Aaron Donald is clearly a strong player. And just to wrap it up real quickly, from what we've seen in this game, let me get your final thoughts on what you've seen, your overall impressions, maybe a player or two.
Aaron Donald. I mean, this guy has been he was a game changer. If they didn't have Aaron Donald, they would have flat out lost because the pressure that he was putting on was forcing Breeze to make dumb decisions. And you haven't seen this since Breeze's rookie year. I love the way he played, but I'll tell you, I'm very disappointed the Saints didn't get Michael Thomas more involved in this game. What about you, Ben? What did you see?
2 players that impressed me aside from the obvious. Robert Woods, who was clearly a leading, as reliable as they come and as consistent as they come this game. And for the Saints, it's got to be Kamara, the emergence of Kamara, and he had a solid rushing attack. I think all 76 of those yards were his. And it just goes to show you that maybe you have a future as a running back, maybe you have a future running game in the Saints after the Breeze era. But I definitely saw a good game, and I saw some things that could be built upon from both teams. I definitely think these teams need to get used to throwing the ball deep downfield. But overall, I definitely think that we have a bright future for these teams. And
absolutely. I think the Saints are ready to move on from Breeze, and I think the Rams are young and they're ready to move on as well. I love the game, and it was a pleasure calling the game with you. I think this was great.
Absolutely. And signing off for the XCFL Game Day broadcast, we have Coach Boone.
Coach Mumford.
Have a great night, fans, and enjoy the rest of your week.